As a historian, I would like to remind you that having a Republican president point to very diverse cities and say, it's scary over there and I'm going to clean things up, I'm going to bring law and order, that sort of thing. It's a dog whistle, number one. It's explicitly racist, and it goes all the way back to Richard Nixon. Let me explain. Okay, so actually we have to go back to the 1930s because I'm a historian and that's what I do. But FDR's New Deal created this massive coalition for the Democratic Party. It's going to make them the majority party for decades because really most groups in the American population had something to gain from the New Deal policies. And it created kind of these strange bedfellows, right? It created this weird Democratic Party where, for example, you had black voters who had finally switched over from the Republican Party of Lincoln to vote Democrat in the 1930s. And they were voting within the same party as white segregationists in the South who were Southern Democrats or Dixiecrats. But it was because as long as the white Southerners were listen, as long as these programs are mostly economic, they're for jobs, they're for farmers, they're for whatever, we're fine, just don't touch Jim Crow. Cut to the 1960s when the Democrats do start messing with Jim Crow, right? And so you would think that all of those white Southerners would have fled to the Republican Party, and some of them did, but it wasn't even enough. It was still not enough that Nixon, when he's running in 1968, has to come up with a strategy of how can we finally get poor white voters, middle-class white voters, especially in the South, to come and vote Republican when, frankly, our economic policies don't really benefit them. And he and his advisors came up with a thing called the Southern Strategy. And we know about this because, of course, Nixon recorded all of his conversations. So this is primary source on the record. They were let's appeal to their racism. Let's point to the cities. Let's point out kind of the quote unquote chaos that's going on in the cities in the wake of the civil rights movement, the increasing diversity that they're seeing in their schools. And let's just make them scared. And then they're going to come over to us and we're going to say that we're the party of law and order. And so they'll vote based on that, not based on what's maybe best for their budgets or pocketbooks or whatever. And when that didn't work, because it was still kind of a tenuous alliance in the 1970s, they said, okay, well, if that doesn't work, if appealing to racism and kind of fear of the quote inner cities doesn't work, then we'll also appeal to kind of their Christianity and we'll freak them out in thinking that atheists are coming for their schools, their Christian schools, and they're going to let women have abortions all over the place. The playbook is the same. It's been the same playbook since Nixon. And to be clear, it's been the same playbook because it's worked and we're still allowing it to work. I mean, cut to Reagan and the war on drugs, Bill Clinton, a Democrat, and the massive crime bill. Basically, if you wanted to gain power, especially you wanted to be an influential president and shore up votes, you just point to crime, a vague allusion to crime, and then you say, and I'm gonna increase spending on law enforcement and I'm gonna really tamp down on this crime, even though the things they're doing we know aren't the things that actually reduce crime. It's all for show.